How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Way back when, before the internet was a thing, we used to do this strange ritual called reading on paper and parchments. There's a book called the Bible. You might have heard of it. It's a bit of a cult classic. And in it, we get the mention of our poster boy of hell, Lucifer. All jokes aside, the Bible has a lot of pages and a lot of writing in it, and the name Lucifer shows up exactly once. All other times he is referred to as Satan, if at all. But that's bad luck to talk about the devil himself. Onwards. In the hit web series of Hazbin Hotel and Helluva, we are given the chance to see some of the most famous demons and devils in our history, as well as some new ones we didn't expect but can't help falling in love with. Asmodeus, Fizzaroli, Octavia, Moxie, to name but a short few. So then, it is necessary to talk about the big man himself. Lucifer Maine, king of hell and the most terrifying being in all the underworld. Lucifer Maine, named after the real-world equivalent of Lucifer Morningstar, is the current regent and king of hell in the Helluva and Hazbin Hotel fictional web series. Married to Lilith Maine and father to Charlotte Maine, Lucifer is one of the most interesting devils out there for several reasons. First, despite being el numero uno in terms of the hellish hierarchy, Lucifer is one of the deadly seven, how we refer to the seven deadly sins here, by representing the excess of pride. Some background first, as there may be a few among the viewers who are unfamiliar with the story. A long time ago, Lucifer used to be an angel. This is like saying that yesterday the sun rose and it was bright. An understatement. Lucifer used to be the best boy, or at least one of the best boys up there. He was the morning star, the brightest light in the sky before the sun rises. He was said to be beautiful, mighty and powerful, and thus he fell, because he wanted to be even more special. God didn't take kindly to that, and so he cast Lucifer down with all the people that sided with him. That's where demons come from, children. Isn't learning fun? Demonology is a very interesting field with practically zero career outlets, but still, better than sitting around doing nothing during the summer. It has been confirmed in the Hazbin Hotel lore that Lucifer is indeed a fallen angel, and it's safe to assume that the reason for his fall was pride. Whether God was responsible for that is anyone's guess. Vivziepop is remaining mute on the matter until the next episode of Hazbin Hotel comes out. But anyway, you're here to learn about the Deadly Seven in the Hazbin Hotel universe, and by golly, you're gonna learn. A short recap, so we're all on the relative same boat. The Deadly Seven are a group of demons and devils that personify or otherwise embody the deadly sin they are associated with. In the first episode of this series, we talked about Asmodeus, the embodiment of lust. Lucifer represents pride. Mammon is the manifestation of greed, with Leviathan taking charge of envy. Beelzebub is in charge of gluttony, and Belphegor represents sloth. Satan comes in with wrath and needing a lot of anger management classes. Satan and Lucifer aren't the same person, just for clarification. Let's get some more lore going, eh? Lucifer fell from heaven down to hell and became the king of hell. Why do the rest of the demons tolerate this when the entire concept of hell, as far as we can see in Helluva and Hazbin Hotel, is to become the top dog? Overlords kill each other in droves each chance they get. Death is seen as a casual side effect, and Blitz can keep his company going mainly because people want other people dead. So what's the deal, eh? Why does Lucifer, who we've seen in artworks portrayed as a relatively shorter individual, get to command such respect? Well, the answer to that is that he does it because no one else wants to die. Lucifer, lest we forget, used to be an angel. Every year, in hell, the angels come down to do some crowd control, and out of all the situations the denizens of hell find themselves in, getting cleansed by an angel seems to be the scariest one. Vaggie describes it in the pilot episode as being erased, so clearly it's very scary. What are Lucifer's powers? Great question. Aside from being the monarch of hell and having access to stuff only angels can touch, Lucifer has the power of flight, as per the wiki, as well as a very disarming personality. Aside from that, Lucifer has clout though, and that means a lot in the setting. Overlords like Alistair, princes like Stolas, and even kings of the Lesser Key need to stand back and bow to the head man himself. There's a reason Charlie got to show up in the news show when Jeffrey couldn't do his cannibal cooking segment, and it's not because of what Killjoy said. Deep down, no one wants to mess with the king himself. What's the benefit of doing so? Keep in mind, people still made fun of Charlie for her absolutely insane idea of a hotel to rehabilitate sinners, but no one, and I do mean no one, would do so in front of Lucifer. It's hell. Backbiting, betrayal, and all that stuff are expected. Take a look at episode 5, Harvest Moon. Near the end, it's painfully obvious that regular relationships and family interactions aren't the standard in hell. Stella herself is berating Stryker for failing to kill her husband, who is sitting right in front of her reading a book titled Imps in the Sheets and Why They Are So Hung. Very bold move, Stolas, but also a very bad move. Meanwhile, Octavia is just headbanging because the music slaps and it's a bop and a half. So Lucifer is in charge because no one dares take him down. Only room at the top for one person, and Lucifer, being the embodiment of pride, ain't gonna share the spotlight, that's for sure. That's what his whole shtick is about. It's all about Lucifer. Pride was his downfall, and so pride is his badge of office. Anytime someone feels smug about their success with the sight of someone with less fortune, that's a tally up for Lucifer. Asmodeus, being the embodiment of lust, he gets a pass whenever someone does something because they are driven by the heat of the moment. In his song, he clearly states that all he wants from people is a single thrust, performed in the instant of need so they can feel alive and give it all up for that good high. Stolas knows that very well, but there is someone else that embodies pride very well in his family: Stella. For Stella, keeping in mind that she is a very proud individual, the fact that her husband was unfaithful doesn't mean squat. Her entire issue is that he did it with an imp. In episode 2 Lululand, we get to see their family life from the perspective of Octavia while having an argument on the background of her parents. The entire issue is that he did it with an imp. Stolas claimed it was unexpected and that he didn't have time to go to a motel, which Stella replies with a quasi-righteous indignation that he was willing to go to a motel like a plebeian. In truth, the imp is the offence. Stolas couldn't cheat on her with someone of equal or higher standing, so she's no better than an imp. That's the issue she has. Her pride and arrogance can't let her see past the fact that she has been cheated on, because to her, it isn't the crime itself that hurts, but the cause of it. Maybe to Stella, she isn't good enough, and because she is royalty, that must really be a shattering realisation that her pride can't let her go beyond. Because deep down, that's all it is. Pride. The humiliation that not only is she not good enough for her husband, but apparently an imp, one of the lower classes of all of hell, is his choice of companion. It shows repeatedly throughout the show that Stella can't let go of the fact, and that's something particularly prevalent in Lucifer himself. Going back to the whole real-world lore segment, let's not forget that Lucifer fell from one of the highest points of creation to the lowest of the low. To say that he is a classist snob would be an understatement. Only reason he would allow himself to join someone like Lilith is best explored in another video. Maybe in a similar vein as these videos themselves. Lilith does have real-world ramifications, and is a fascinating subject to explore. It's also good to point out that Lucifer has a very successful amusement park in hell called Lulu World that was very blatantly copied by Mammon, Demon of Greed, in the infamous Lulu Land. Throughout the episode, we see tons of flyers in the park that seem to be from Mammon, claiming that he would never copy his pal Lucifer's idea for his own, which is of course all a massive lie that is sufficiently distinct legally to not be usable in a lawsuit. Not that Lucifer would care, because to acknowledge such things would imply acknowledging the fact that Mammon is an equal. Even in the end of the episode, When Stolas goes into the House of Mirrors fashioned to look like Lucifer, we see enough details to make it sufficiently not Lucifer that it can be excused. The smile is there, the rosy cheeks, but the hair is dark instead of blonde. We can talk about Mammon more in a future episode, but for now it suffices to say that Lucifer is an influential dude. To finalise, we'd like to review what we've seen so far. Not only is Lucifer a very powerful dude, he is also the king of hell because he's got some wacky powers and some stuff that demons can't hope to survive against. He is a member of the Deadly Seven in name only, because as the king of hell, his authority is superior to that of the kings and lords that comprise the Deadly Seven. What do you think? Is there anything we have missed? Leave a comment and like the video so that the almighty gods of the algorithm favour us and more people can see this content.